Hello again, it's Mike with the Claim Squad, and I'm going to be talking about today the 5 worst insurance companies, homeowners insurance companies, the 5 worst when you have a water damage claim. So let's get into the pecking order right now. This is in order, at least from the top, and in the middle it's a little, pretty much they all even out. But number 1 and number 2, they fight for the top worst insurance companies in Florida. Universal and Citizens. Citizens, let me go through a short explanation on why they're one of the worst when it comes to water damage claims. You got to check your policy. People don't know this. Most people have a $10,000 water damage claim limit on their policy when it comes to Citizens. That alone makes them one of the worst. Now, other companies do that as well, but Citizens does almost on every policy, it seems like, anymore. I think mostly, from what I've heard, it's mostly for houses that are 15 years or older. So be on the lookout. Make sure that if you do have Citizens, you don't know about it. Take a look at your policy and see if that does hold up. Universal, why are they one of the worst when it comes to water damage claims? They just don't pay. They don't want to pay. So we have to set them up in a way that later on we can try and get punitive damages in the way of what we call a bad faith claim lawsuit. So there's things I do to set Universal up to make it at a point later on, if we have to get into a lawsuit, that we put them on the hook for even more money that they would owe you. So Universal doesn't care what happened, when it happened, how it happened, they won't pay. Okay. The other thing they do is try and say they'll write an estimate and they'll write it really low and say, oh, it falls below your deductible. Or maybe it'll be like right above your deductible. So if you have a deductible of $1,000 and you have 3 rooms of damage, you'll write an estimate for like $1,400. Say, oh, well, we've got $450 of depreciation, your $1,000 deductible. So your claim is $50 under the threshold, so we actually don't owe you anything. I see it all the time with Universal. Companies number 3 and 4, middle of the pack for worst. So you really can't be middle of the pack when it's worse, right? You're bad. UPC and American Integrity. If you've seen my video, the 5 worst companies for roof damage claims, where certain companies like UPC and American Integrity hire these experts or contractors that go up and write a report for the insurance company to deny your claim. UPC and American Integrity do the same thing for water damage claims. They'll hire a leak detector, they'll hire some inspector, they'll hire some plumber, they'll hire some engineer to go in there. Why engineers? I have no idea, but they do it. And then they'll write a report. They're going to say they're going to deny your claim. And essentially what it comes down to is they'll not only write a report as to why, more than likely, this is what you'll see in the expert's report. Water damage greater than 6 months, therefore we notice excessive mold that had been there for a long time, meaning that the water leak was, remember these words, continuous, repeated, seepage, or leakage. Now that's in the policy as to what's not covered. That's the reason why they put it in their report. Again, constant, repeated, leakage, or seepage. So when you see gradual or long-term or repeated or constant, that's their way to get out of it. Now, there's a way we can combat that. There's ways around that type of language. So if you do discover a leak and there's mold there, maybe it had been there for a little while, don't try to guess how long it's been there, because it only takes 1 or 2 days for mold to develop in Florida. So it doesn't mean that it's been there for 6 months. Nobody can estimate if it's been there for 6 months. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't care if you're an MIT grad. You can't guess the exact day, month, year that mold was there or when the water damage happened. There's no way. So UPC, American Integrity, love to hire experts because they know that if people are not being represented, they're going to quit. They're not going to try and fight their claim. They're done. They're like, well, there's nothing we can do but pay out of pocket. Don't fall for that. Please fight it. And number 5, I'm going to go back to what I said, which would have been like number 7 in the roof damage, worst companies for your roof damage claim. It's what we call these excess or surplus carriers. Now there's numerous carriers, and numerous of them are not regulated. None of them are regulated by the state of Florida. They have very different ways of handling claims, and they know because they're not regulated in Florida, they tend to do things in a lot of ways, kind of shady, and their communication is very little, and they tend to try and make the homeowner or condo owner or townhome owner wait out when they have to pay the claim. So a lot of surplus excess carriers insure not only homes but townhomes and condos. So when you have these type of companies that are not in Florida, they're not Florida based, but they're outside, you got to be very leery of them, and you got to make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's in a certain way to keep things ready to go in case there are issues. They have different policy languages. They don't understand some things that happen in Florida. So their policy language actually doesn't fit into some of the state statutes that we have here in Florida. So you've got to have a good public adjuster that knows that, and knows, more importantly, how to handle these surplus excess carriers, because you can't handle them the same way as the way you handle a Florida-based homeowners insurance company. So just a brief video on the 5 worst companies when it comes to having a water damage claim. If you need any help with any water damage claim, I've handled a few in my years, and I'd be happy to help you as well. My name's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters, and feel free to give me a call, 754-252-5438. You can also look up my website, www.theclaimsquad.com. Thank you for your time.